Hi, it's Karen from supportyourchildmaths.com. I'm here today to show you a fun and educational game that you can play at home with your primary age children. And all it uses is a pack of playing cards. Most people have got one tucked away somewhere. With maths games, it's not just the playing of the game that matters, it's how you play it and the discussion that goes along with the game to really help support your child with maths. So I'll be giving hints and tips along those lines as we go, and particularly towards the end of the video, I'll explain how best to adapt the game for your particular child. Depending on the age of your child or children that you're playing this game with, different learning goals can be achieved, which means it works really well if you're playing it with a number of different aged children because they can each take something else out of it at a different level. So, some of the goals that you can achieve through this game, by no means all of the goals, are recognizing patterns, associating the numeral with a visual presentation, which is what educators will call subitizing, understanding what doubles really are, which will lead them towards multiplication in the future, learning their doubles facts off by heart, and most importantly, increasing maths confidence and bringing the joy into maths. Because as I've seen through my 14 years of teaching and tutoring, the more confident children feel with their maths, then the more fun they have with it, the more they come to love the subject, and then they just soak up new learning. But first of all, we've got to get that confidence and that joy into it. So have fun as you do this game. At the end of this video, I'll talk about adaptations you can make to the game and to your support of it and discussion around it to more fully meet the individual needs of your child. Because, surprise, surprise, every one of them is different, and thank goodness for that, eh? For now, first decide if you're going to keep the aces in the game or not. The problem with the aces, as you can see here, is of course they represent the numeral 1. However, instead of having a 1 in the corner, they actually have an A, which of course can cause children some complications. So if in doubt for now, I say leave them out. If your child is already familiar with aces and has played card games before and so on, or is very open to learning new language at the same time, then keep them in, and it might be something of interest to your child. If your child isn't familiar with playing cards such as these, then you'll probably need to do some exploring of them first. For example, you could together lay them out in order with the 4 different suits from 2 to 10 as shown here. And then you could let your child explore the fact that there are 4 of each digit. For example, there's 4 number 2s, 4 number 3s, and so on, but that the symbol is different on each. That's called a suit, but it really doesn't matter for now what it's called, and it doesn't matter. They don't need to know the term club, spade, heart, and diamond. If they're interested, then you could talk about it. If not, that's something you can leave for another day. The aim of the game is to collect the most number of doubles pairs. After shuffling the pack, deal 5 cards to each player. There could be up to 3 or even 4 players. The photo shows player 1 cards on the left and player 2 cards on the right. So both have 5 cards each. The rest of the deck goes in the centre. Straight away, players check to see if they have any doubles in their hand already. And if they have, they can lay those down straight away. As you can see, player 1 already had double 2 in their hand, so they'll lay that down straight away. At that point, you could ask your child to either say, I have double 2, or I have double 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. We'll talk more about adaptations and support you can give for this later on in the video. After this, the youngest player starts and asks another player if they have a certain card that they were looking for. And if they have, that person has to hand it over. So in this scenario shown, player 2 has asked player 1, do you have an 8, please? Player 1 did have an 8 in their hand, as you saw in the previous photo. So they've had to hand it across to player 2, who then has 2 8s, double 8, which they then have to put down on the table as seen. Now it's player 1's turn. Player 1 asks player 2, "Do you have a 7, please?" Player 2 doesn't have a 7, so they say, "Go fish." This is a signal for player 1 to take a card from the deck. They've picked up a 6, as you can see. You can change the terminology of this. It doesn't have to be "go fish," it could be "pick up 1" or "go collect," whatever wording is appropriate and relevant for you and your child. Play continues in this vein until there are no cards left, at which point each player counts up the number of double pairs they have. The player with the most pairs or doubles wins the game. Although, of course, you can make that more complicated in the future by saying you add up the number of actual points you've got. So if you've got double 8, you'd have 16. But that's for the future. As children grow more confident with the game, they will start to realize that if they listen to what players are saying and requesting, then they'll learn what that player actually has in their hand. So then if they pick up, for example, a 6, and they've heard somebody previously asking but failing to get a 6, then they'll learn to then ask for that card. So it's actually really good exercise in learning to listen to what others are saying too. Keep an eye on your child's body language as well as what they're saying during the game. If they look like they're losing interest or maybe getting a bit upset or frustrated, then that's giving you an idea that you need to make things easier for them. So that's when you'd bring out some of these adaptations. For example, for more support or scaffolding, as teachers would call it, you could write out the doubles numbers first of all. So, for example, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Have that in front of them as they're playing the game, and then all they need to do is refer to it to then give you the answer. It's still learning. Only ask your child to say the doubles that they already know. So if they just don't know what 7 plus 7 is, there's no point just keep asking them to do that because they're just going to get upset and frustrated with it. So again, you can scaffold it by writing it down so they just have to refer to it and find that and read it out. Or you can just not push on that one and hold that back for another time. You could ask them for one more each time you play. So for example, if they already know 2 plus 2 equals 4 and 3 plus 3 equals 6, but they don't yet know that 4 plus 4 equals 8, then you could use that as your challenge for next game to know that one. So they could practice saying it this time and see if they can remember it for the next time. But don't push all of them in one go, or it just leads to frustration. For some of them, you could ask them to count the numbers on the cards to work out what the double is. So by counting on. Or you could write it out one at a time. If, on the other hand, your child needs more of a challenge, they're getting more confident, or you have an older player, then you could, for example, ask them to write out each double as they're doing it, as they win each double. You could also say that the winner is, in fact, the person whose total points add up to the most, in which case they'd have to add up all their doubles together. Or you could reintroduce the jacks, the queens, and the kings cards, which are 11, 12, and 13 points respectively, and include those in the games. But that's quite a lot harder. You've been watching Karen from supportyourchildmaths.com. Please have a look at my website and you'll see that I'm running workshops online in any English-speaking country to help with games and also place value knowledge and fractions and so on. So I'll be running workshops for parents to best help your child at home. Please like, subscribe and comment if you enjoyed this video, if there's anything you want to ask, or any other future videos you'd like me to do. It all helps. Thank you.